Today's morning supplements are L-glutamine in the Stanley and then Epetōme. I'm so consistent with this routine. It's like the one thing that I do all the time. Epetōme is actually my own brand, but I am utterly obsessed with it, as I love hearing how many of you guys are as well. It's like a symbiotic duocap, so I take it every single morning. Empty stomach, 11 specific live bacterial strains which have some of the largest body of scientific research behind them. We're actually doing our clinical trials at the moment, which is really, really exciting, so I can't wait for those to come out, because obviously it's all well and good creating something that I believe is really, really amazing. You need that evidence to be able to back it up. Watch this space, and if you are interested in trying Epetōme, I do actually have a code that I've popped down below in the captions, my founder code M10. Every single thing that goes into this is the best of the best, so much thought and care, and I think that's the reason why we've had such an incredible response, and the growth in the last year has just been phenomenal. Let me know if you guys take Epetōme and how you guys get on. I'm actually just going to hydrate a little bit, do a little bit of laptop work, and I'm going to go straight out for my morning walk. It's very hot in London at the moment, so trying to kind of get the morning walks when it's not 30 degrees outside is the aim of the game today. So a nice little hour walk, go and pick up some extra ingredients, and then make some lovely breakfast with you. Tote bag of the day is this Claridge's Newt number. This is my lovely new aloe stuff that I got as well from the Vogue event that I was just on. So let's go to a lovely walk and then to Marks and Spencer's. Best flowers in the world. I love these ones. Do I get those or peonies? Fun fact, when you're buying things that contain this kind of red purple pigment, it's actually full of antioxidants, something called anthocyanins, and they're very, very good for your gut health and your heart health. So these are some British red spring onions. So it's just a simple way to be able to add more nutrition into your day-to-day. It's just to pick out something that is purple. So I opted for the garlic alliums. Something so nice about like treating yourself to flowers. I've got everything. I think I'm gonna make, I've got some pre-cooked beetroots in my fridge, and I haven't made my glow toast in ages, and it's such an OG recipe. So I'm gonna do glow toast, nice piece of toasted sourdough, some nice soft eggs, got a little bit of smoked salmon, and that is gonna be my breakfast this morning. Lovely morning walk. So I did a nice big hour walk, so feeling good, feeling a little bit more awake from the rather broken sleep that we had. Flowers secured. And then what I picked up from M&S, because I always like doing these hauls. So I've got 2 packs of pre-cooked roast chicken. These are 2 for £6, and I use these all the time. You guys know that. It's just super convenient. It's just my favourite way of basically having a protein in. Otherwise, I find I just eat too many tins of tuna, and you shouldn't be eating too many tins of tuna. Fresh herbs, mint and dill, because I'm going to be incorporating these into my lunch and breakfast recipes. Fresh herbs are so good for you. The more fresh herbs you can use, the better. Full of different antioxidants. Then my favourite 5% Greek yogurt from M&S. Extra egg whites. I use these to bulk out my scrambled eggs for the boost of protein. Big Daddy pistachio bites, because vitamin joy. And then some dark chocolate with blood orange, because we've got to get the sweet treats. An organic cucumber. I always like to buy organic things, particularly for the things that I eat the skin on. And also, I genuinely find that sometimes organic does taste better. I've got those lovely red spring onions that I spoke about in store. Some smoked salmon, because I thought I'd treat myself. And then finally, an absolutely massive pack of berries, because these have blackberries and raspberries in. So raspberries are one of the highest fibre fruits per 100 grams, but blackberries are also incredibly high in fibre. The same premise. So when you push a raspberry through a sieve, you'll have all of those seeds that are kind of left on the other side. Exactly the same thing will happen for blackberries. And they are wonderfully in season at the moment. So good. I need a cup of tea.
I need to keep on hydrating, and then we'll make a lovely little breakfast together. Mug of choice today is the Fortnum & Mason E. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more cooking than I normally would this morning, but when I make this, it will store and keep, and I'll enjoy it for the next few days. So this is basically my glow toast. So it contains cocktail beetroot, feta. I'm going to add some chickpeas just to create a little bit more body, and it's going to give me a boost of fibre. I'm also going to add a little bit of fresh mint just to give it a little kick. Really, really simple. Then I'll load it onto toast, have with my eggs, my smoked salmon, some extra slices of, I feel like my voice is going, some extra slices of cucumber. And that will just be a really, really lovely, fresh, beautiful, summery breakfast, but still full of loads of colour and all the things that I like to hit with that, which is that protein and fibre. So this is kind of like a chuck it all inner for me. I'm not really going to measure too many things. I'm also wearing white, so like doing anything beetroot. The cocktail beetroot, this one has been marinated in red wine vinegar, black pepper and juniper. And what I like is that it gives it a lovely little pop of acidity. But you can just use normal beetroot and just add an extra little bit of balsamic into this mix. So fun fact, beetroot actually contains compounds that makes your blood vessels dilate. So you get increased blood flow to your skin, to your muscles. Fantastic, fantastic skin food. That deep, rich purple pigment. I feel like I'm just like on a purple bandwagon today. That's just, it's kind of foods that I'm thinking about. Got my purple spring onions. A little nub of feta, probably got about 30 grams in there, and that's just going to give it a really nice salty kick. But then feta is also a fantastic source of key B vitamins, calcium, a little bit of onion granules, a little bit of garlic, and then bold bean coat, beans always. A few spoons of chickpeas, so I said this just gives it a little bit more viscosity. Beetroot and mint are best friends. I really, really like the inclusion of a little bit of mint in this. I just pop those. I don't need too much, enough that you want to be able to taste it. Nice big pinch of salt. And I've got the healthy fats from the feta, which is going to help just kind of bring this all together. If I wanted to, I could also include some cottage cheese or something into this to boost the protein further. My only thing is sometimes it makes the colour go a little bit less attractive. And it's because I want this kind of super, super vibrant and pink, I'm just going to keep to what this is at the moment. Guys, I feel like my mic disconnected there, so unfortunately making this would have been a little bit less clear, but there we have it. My lovely kind of bright, beautiful red, hummus-like consistency beetroot glow toast. Let's have a little taste. It's so simple, but it's so good. Popping that to one side, OXO bag with my pre-sliced sourdough in. I always like to do before I retoast my pre-sliced sourdough is just I wet my hands and then tap my hands over the bread before I stick it into the air fryer, and this will just refreshen it a little bit. I always like to do my eggs in my Le Creuset cast iron, so I'm just going to pop this onto heat. Probably just going to do scrambled eggs with these. It would be really nice to do some lovely 6-minute eggs, but just scrambled today. And then an extra splash of egg whites. It just means that instead of getting 12 grams of protein, I can get maybe 22 grams of protein. So then I'm pairing it with the additional little bit of protein from the beetroot, the protein in the bread, protein in the smoked salmon. I'm getting like a 30, 35 gram protein breakfast, which is just going to leave me feeling really steady, focused all morning. I do think that breakfast sets you up for the day. So when we are able to kind of prioritize that protein focus, it makes a massive difference to how you feel. Toast is done. Kind of heaped spoon of that beetroot mix and pop her on the toast. Perfect, lovely little ribbons. So I'm just going to carefully caress over my beetroot toast. So there we have my toast, my beetroot, my eggs. Then I'm just going to add these extra slices of cucumber, smoked salmon too.
We love a fresh herb. And I'm absolutely addicted to this everything seasoning from M&S. It literally tastes like a bagel. So I'm just gonna add a little sprinkling of those. And that is my rather gorgeous breakfast plate. So I've got my sourdough, I've got my beetroot glow dip, feta thing, whatever you want to call it. I've got my soft scrambled eggs, bulked out with extra egg whites for protein. I've got some cucumber, some smoked salmon for healthy fats, protein. That is literally a 30 to 35 gram protein breakfast. I've got lots of different fibre types in there. I've got a couple of plants. I've got beautiful colours as well with that deep beetroot dip. It's just going to keep like a dream. It's brilliant for snacking on. Have it with crudités. Treat it exactly the same way that you would a hummus. So you can even load it into wraps and anything, to be honest. I'm very excited to eat this one. It's so tasty. I love a breakfast that when you look at it, it makes you feel healthy. Hopefully this will give you a little bit of inspiration. Maybe you'll whip up a little bit of glow toast yourself. Mix up your breakfast formula. Not every single thing has to be avocado toast. So I'm gonna enjoy this. I've got a few hours of work and then I'm gonna go to the gym and then I'll come back and we will make some delicious lunch together. Oh, that was a very good workout. I'm starting to do more resistance-based training because I'm looking to put on some mass and put on some muscle. So it was good leg day, which means that we need a refeed. I'm gonna be making one of my favorite salads, and that is my signature Caesar salad. But I've got some leftover jumbo king prawns, which are just gonna be delicious. I'm gonna toss them and just fry them, so they're gonna be yum yum. Then I'm also just gonna crisp up some serrano ham in the air fryer, which I like to do. So it's worth noting that I do try and limit my processed meat intake, particularly for their association with colorectal cancer. It's context that is everything. So when you pair the cured hams, bacon, sausage products with things like vitamin C, antioxidants and fibre, the risk is actually mitigated. So the way that I package that more risky or less healthy ingredient with the other healthy ingredients, I'm actually going to be using chickpeas instead of croutons. That's what's gonna make the difference. And that's why I can have things that I love the taste for. It really makes a Caesar salad. And I'm not going to be over worrying or over obsessing about things that really don't matter when you think of diet context. So I'm gonna build the dressing probably in the base of the salad bowl. So I just pop these things to one side. First things first, I'm just going to crisp up a slice of Parma ham and then just lay them to the air fryer. And the kind of surf and turf aspect of this Caesar is really, really nice. I'm just gonna pop this in probably air fry setting, which I think is 200 for me, and it only needs about 4 to 5 minutes. And then these are my prawns. Just going to decant these into a bowl. Actually, to get a cool shape when I fry these, I just like to run my knife down their backbone. And then I like a little bit of spice, so I'm just gonna add a bit of smoky paprika seasoning into these. I'm just gonna leave these to do their thing just whilst I make the salad dressing, and then I'll fry them and stick them on top. This salad dressing, fun fact, I actually did a beach club restaurant menu takeover in Greece one time. I could eat this like every single day. I promise you, if you swap your mayo to Greek yogurt, you will not notice it. I absolutely promise you. When you've got all the extra flavors through that kind of crispy Parma ham, that salty punch of the anchovies. I love a tomato in my Caesar salad, that little sweet pop. Lime Perrins, Worcestershire sauce. You will not feel like you're compromising. A big stainless steel mixing bowl. I get these all off Amazon. So in the base, just get an anchovy. 2 anchovies there. Then we've got some nice Dijon mustard. Just a little spoonful of that. Mash that anchovy a little bit into the Dijon. Big dollop of good Greek yogurt. Some Lime Perrins. And I actually prefer to use garlic granules because I find them a lot less repetitive than raw garlic in this. So probably about ½ a teaspoon of garlic granules. And I also have these, and I love a little bit of spice in my season. I feel like the spice goes really well with the prawns. A few of those sweet chilies. And let's give this guy a little mix. Grating of Parmesan. Punchy, salty, just umami bomb, and just ready to coat all of those lettuce leaves. My Parma ham is done. You can see, looks golden crispy, and it's just stick my prawns into that same air fryer because it's really hot today and I just can't be bothered to get another thing out to wash. So just good classic romaine lettuce. Let's go and give it a little wash.
I love a big salad like this because if you're feeling particularly hungry, it's a really good kind of high volume. It's going to leave you feeling super satisfied. Sometimes we just want a big bowl of something delicious. Straight into my salad dressing bowl, I'm just going to go with that head of romaine, then that little spring onion and roughly dice. Prawns are done. That literally only took 4 minutes, so I'll set those to one side. Sweet cherry tomatoes. Leftover jar of bold bean co queen chickpeas, then those little parma ham shards. Just kind of use your fingers and roughly break them in. And all I'm going to do is just start to kind of toss this all together now. She looks good. I'm going to add my prawns. Extra of dusting of parmesan. Another kind of 35 to 40 gram protein lunch. Prawn Caesar salad with chickpeas instead of croutons, crispy parma ham, that yogurt-based dressing, and those nice kind of Cajun prawns. I'm so excited to eat this. It's kind of comfort food because a Caesar salad isn't something that you initially just think, oh, that's really healthy. And of course, all those people were like, oh yeah, but you put parma ham in there. Yes, but as I said, all of the antioxidants, the vitamin C, the fibre is going to help protect my body, protect my gut. Context is everything. I am going to be having this with some Marks & Spencer's barbecue pop crisps, just because I'm an adult and I have free will and I can. That was really, really easy to throw together. If I wanted to, this dressing actually preps like a dream, so I can make a big batch of it and just have it in my fridge. Normally I have a cup of tea, guys, but it's another 30-degree day, and honestly, the thought of having a tea is just like giving me the sweats. So I think I'm just gonna have water with my lunch today. Let's go eat. Oh, it's so good. There's also just something about mopping up a salad with a crisp. Right, gang, that is lunch, and I will see you either for a snack or for dinner. So good. With an Earl Grey. Still 30 degrees, but I'm gonna cook dinner. So I'm gonna do something that's very fresh, lovely, hot weather coded. I've got some mango. I've got a beautiful salmon fillet joint, which I like to treat ourselves to from time to time. They are quite expensive, but they're just so delicious. And I have this method that I literally cook it skin side down 90% of the way, and then you just get this like perfectly crispy skin, but then the most buttery salmon. So I'll show you guys that. With the mango, I'm gonna make a really lovely salsa. So I'm gonna do mango, avocado, cucumber, jalapeno. We've got, today is a day of these red spring onions. I'm just going to toss that all together with loads of fresh herbs, serve it with some rice, and that is going to be dinner tonight. Weighing out my rice, this is the best rice ever. It's like the fancy one from M&S. Normally about 120 grams. The number one most important thing, which I actually never used to do, because I feel like my mum never used to do, is wash your rice. Rinse until it comes out clear. And there are certain things that just, not every single thing has to be the healthiest form of the thing that you're eating. It's okay to just have the white rice. So I've just stuck the rice on, and whilst that's doing its thing, I'm gonna make a really, really quick salsa. And I've brought diced mango already. I hate peeling mangoes. If anyone has any tips on how to peel mangoes, sometimes I feel like I buy a mango and the yield I get is so rubbish that I feel like it's just better off doing this. And when I'm dicing these up, I want them that kind of small little cube size, nothing too massive. And then into the bowl. Avocado, all the healthy fats, also a great source of fibre. Spice, finely dice a green. Then for a bit of onion kick, you can also just use a red onion. And a little bit of cucumber. I'm actually going to de-seed because everyone always asks me, why do I take the seeds out of the cucumber? The reason being is it's basically just water, no flavour. So if you're trying to build a lot of flavour into something and make it taste really, really nice, if you're just going to be diluting it with a kind of flabby part of the cucumber, you're not going to be getting the punch in your salsa. I love the little pop of cucumber as well, just because it gives that hit of crunch and freshness. Lovely, lovely. And then people ask me, what do I do with this? I just eat it. Then lime, cool garlic granules, pinch of salt. Finally, I'm just going to add a little sprinkle of basil for a pop of colour, and just a tiny, tiny splash of red wine vinegar for some acidity. And that is my lovely little salsa. The rice is done. I've drained it. I've popped the lid on. I'm just going to leave that to one side. Let's cook my salmon. So I like to buy the whole side and then I actually portion it up. Hers, his, and her with a generous pinch of salt. Sometimes what I prefer to do is actually let these fillets dry out in the fridge a little bit just to get that super, super crispy skin. And this is my emotional support broccoli. And then I have one of these little fancy weights that I like to just pop on the salmon. I'm just going to leave that now to do its thing. So you can see it just comes off like a dream. I'm just going to turn the heat off. Whoa. So that is my lovely salmon. If you use that method, guys, I promise you, you will love it. That dinner did not take me long at all. It is so boiling. My iPhone storage was just full. My microphone's just about to die. So we're on last legs for today. Let's dish up dinner. We've got rice, fragrant, lovely jasmine rice. If you want to use this method for your salmon, you will just not look back. Nice spoonful of that lovely salsa. Oh, doesn't that look good, guys? There is dinner, guys. That is a lovely crispy skin salmon fillet on rice with a nice little mango salsa, his and hers. And we also have the emotional support broccoli. Taste test. That salmon is like butter. Salsa, a little bit of rice. Okay, it's really good. Like how I just basically kicked Erin off the table, like, get out the chair, I need to film. You can sit down now, darling. Like, this is kind of like inspired by if you've made my gnarly chicken satay peanut one with the pineapple salsa. This is chef's kiss. Probably see you one more time for my little sweet treat before I go to bed. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this What I Eat in a Day. I love doing these for you. I hope that you'll find some inspiration and some recipe ideas. Love tonic. There we go. I love tonic. We're going to be watching something on Netflix. We're going to be starting The Burrows. So, see you guys around.